Welcome to another weekly reading. My name is Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you all as always. Today is another beautiful Sunday AM, well, afternoon, I should say, Central Time, AM for me here in Arizona. And if you don't know me, if you've never joined for one of these live readings, welcome. I am a intuitive and trance channel, able to connect with the energy of this week and also the new moon that we have at the end of this week in Libra. And we're going to talk about some fall equinox energy updates as well. So I'll be intuiting all of that information. I've taken some notes to keep all of the points that I have organized and in line so I don't forget anything. And we're going to jump right into it. But first, let's do a little bit of a review of last week. Last week we had a lot of energy. We talked about the earth force energy that we were tapping into at the beginning of the week last week, feeling into the way in which the earth affects us, the energy of the earth and how we can harmonize with it. And it felt really good to discuss this because our physical vessel is the earth vessel for our being, for our spirit. And so it was also about honoring our body, honoring our physical vessel, allowing ourselves to really feel completely one with our body and earth and how our spirit moves within it. So such a good energy there. And then the middle of the week last week, we had the ideas and inspiration card, allowing us to connect to our creativity, allowing us to trust our ideas and inspiration, use our imagination, and center into that creative essence of our being to help us really manifest what we want and also just feel that peace and grace in moving with the changes that we've been experiencing. And then at the end of the week, which is this weekend, we got the reach out card, which encouraged us to reach out for help, ask for help. Don't be hesitant or resistant to accepting and receiving help from others and from your circumstances that come across and just kind of assist you in things that you may have been struggling with. So lots of good camaraderie there with that card, the ability to find community and connect with others and feel also the energy and guidance of our spirit guides in the spirit world, allowing us to reach out to them for divine intervention as well. So we're still in that energy a little bit. We're still feeling that sense of reaching out and that urge to connect with our guides. Last night I did a channel and chill event here in Arizona, in Scottsdale, Arizona at Abundant Space. And at my channel and chill events, it's always such a great time because everybody comes in and just decides to relax and receive the messages that come forth. And we never really know what energy is going to come forth, which high vibrational guide of love and light decides to present itself to us. And last night it was Bastet, which is the Egyptian feline goddess of fertility and knowledge and sensuality, home domesticity as well. The sense of women's secrets was another thing that when I looked her up after the channel and chill, what she represents is women's secrets. And in the channel, she talked about women's sensuality. So I think that was the secret, which is kind of funny because if you think about Victoria's Secret, that's kind of the energy of that, the sensuality of a woman. And so very interesting channel last night. Really great information. So I'll be posting the highlights of that within the next couple of weeks. And I still have to post the highlights from the Kuan Yin and Archangel Michael channel, which I will do most likely today or tomorrow because I have been a little bit of a procrastinator on that. So I apologize to all of you who've been waiting eagerly for that channel. I will be posting it this week. So we'll talk a little bit more about Bastet later because she's going to come up in some of these messages that we got for this weekly reading. And this week we're in the last week of September. And so 9/22 to 9/29, we'll have a couple of days left of September next week when we talk about it. But for the most part, we're ending out the month of September this week. And if you don't remember or didn't know, the monthly card, I should say, that I pulled from the annual reading in the beginning of the year, this 2019 year, for September was hope. So just focusing on hope, allowing ourselves to really understand and define what hope means means to us, allowing us to really focus on hope, bring in hope, and allow that to be a fuel, our faith, our trust in our higher selves, our source energy, allowing us to really trust in that divine intervention by reaching out to that part of ourselves and to source light and asking for the things that we want to occur to actually come to fruition without focusing so much on the how or what it will take to get it there, more so focusing on the trust in the universe, the source light, and your higher selves and your guides to figure out the how, because that's their job, not yours. The how is not our responsibility, though oftentimes we are conditioned to believe so. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. A little bit about the separation and duality within us as well, because that's been coming up. So I just want to get into that in just a second. But before we do so, I just want to say hello to everyone. Go ahead and let me know how you're feeling today. I know you already started, so let's see how everybody's doing on this beautiful Sunday. I feel like I'm very orange today, so my apologies for the strange light, but I'll fix that next week because, you know, I'm getting this lighting down in this new home I'm in. So bear with me on that, but thank you all. Susan's here. Hello, beautiful. Linda's here. Hello. Linda, I have to text you later. I had a funny dream about you. Actually, I will just say it right now. I had a dream about you, Linda. You were braiding my hair. You were braiding my hair, and you took me to some like Disney like event, and then you were like braiding my hair in like the hotel or something. It was so weird. But then I also, I'm mentioning this because it was funny because I just saw that you were here. And then I also had some dreams about some other people, and I don't really know who they were. This happens to me often, and I was clearing their energy, and one of them had a throat chakra clearing, and they literally said, "Oh, I felt it come out of my mouth and through my throat out of my mouth." Kind of what Susan had said to me one time, but it wasn't Susan in my dream, so it was someone else. So if you felt a dream with me, or if you've had a dream with me, that's totally common. I have a lot of people that, whether they be clients or just people that tune in, and even strangers that end up finding me a couple of days later, have dreams about me where I come and do some kind of energy work on them, or I tell them some kind of intuitive message, or I give them some kind of intuitive gift or tool, and then they reach out to me and let me know. So if that's ever happened to you, then pretty cool, right? We're doing dream work together. Hello, we're connected to our spirit so much that we're able to connect even in the astral, which is great. But yeah, I don't know why I needed to mention that, but there you go, Linda. We had a little dream work together last night, and some other people that I really don't know who they were, because it was just kind of blurry and vague, but pretty fun. Hedwig is here as well. Hello, and hi to the Soul family. All Connected is here. Good to see you too. Leslie is here. Hi, sister. Leslie has a birthday next week, I believe, right? Yeah, next week. So shout out to you, beautiful Libra. Josie's here as well. Soul fam, hello. It's been a minute. Good to see you, love. So much going on, she says. I feel like I'm being pulled in different directions and difficult directions. Not sure where I'm going, especially with my finances and career. Yes, we are going to talk about this because many of us are feeling that sense of being pulled in different directions. So I will get into that just in a second here. And Susan says, same here, Josie. Yep, so a lot of people are feeling it. Lily is here. Hello, beautiful. Lots of love to you. So many people here. So good to connect with you all. And I think that's everybody. Oh, Julia's here as well. Hello, Julia. Carmole is here. Hello, beautiful. Rachel Ann is here as well. She says, had a hard time last night. This week, generally weird shifts, feeling anxious to fully open up to love. Last week's end of the week card resonating so hard. Yes, reaching out. And we're going to talk more about this. Oh my goodness. Linda said she lost her sister-in-law yesterday. So sorry to hear that, love. I'm sending you so much love and support and holding you in my heart for that. I understand that has to be so hard to deal with, but knowing that they're in a better place and that she's with spirit, that she's in the spirit world, her life is eternal. So the transition, though difficult, is not the end of her spirit. And everyone is here. Let's see, Marie is here as well. Good afternoon, Queen Rissa and blissful people, or beautiful people. Good to see you, yes. And Ambi Leah, so good to see you as well. Yes, okay, so we've got about 20 people here. So good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me live. And to all of those who watch this on the replay, sending you love and light as well. Thank you for joining wherever you are, whenever you are. I appreciate the love. So let's go ahead and get into this week's energy so we can talk about all this stuff we're feeling. So I want to start this reading with a little quote that I stumbled upon right before we started here that was just so synchronistic to a lot of what we're all feeling right now. And so let me just read this quote to you before we start on these messages, the spirit messages of this week. The quote says, "How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow? I must have a dark side also if I am to be whole." That's by Carl Jung. And Carl Jung is the famous psychologist and very much a grandfather of psychotherapy and psychology and just understanding the human consciousness. And so I think that quote is just really, really important for us to focus on. I'm going to read it one more time. How can I be substantial? How can I be big? How can I be profound? How can I be expansive? How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow? I must have a dark side also if I am to be whole. This is so important for this energy because we are feeling a lot of shadow energy this week and a little bit of last week and kind of a buildup from last week into this week, which is going to be something that we're going to still feel this week, but we're going to start to feel the balance of it with the Libra new moon at the end of the week. But I want to talk about the shadow self because shadow work is incredibly important. Shadow work is the ability to work through the parts of yourself that you hide, that you try to ignore, that you avoid, that you cast away or don't approve of, to show into the light. So the shadow side is incredibly a part of us, but it's also a part of us that we often try to release or reject. And when we're doing shadow work and when we're urged to do shadow work in our life during different phases of our life where that shadow aspect of ourselves, those characteristics start showing themselves really forcibly in our life, we begin to have to really come to terms with that part of ourselves. We have to find a way to balance our light with our shadow. We have to find a way to accept and love the parts of us that we've never loved before, the parts of us that are hard to see in light and light form. And oftentimes we can feel that dark, heavy cloud around us. We can feel that dark kind of energy or presence within us or around us. We can feel or even have dreams where we have this shadow aspect of ourselves showing up in our dreams and frightening us. And so when that happens, it's often a opportunity for us to see our shadow, where our shadow is really calling out for attention. It's calling out for a focus on it so that we can clear something or we can see something differently, or we can use our shadow for our self-evaluation and expansion of our consciousness. Our shadow is a tool, just like our ego self. Our ego is a tool as well, but our ego needs to be tamed, right? And just like that, our shadow also needs to be tamed. So we're learning how to not completely kill off the shadow, because we never want to completely kill the shadow, and we never want to completely kill the ego, because the ego does serve a purpose and the shadow does serve a purpose. Just like Carl Jung said, how can we be whole without that dark side of us? We have to be that balance. We are the yin and yang. We are dualistic in nature. That is our human aspect of self, combined with our spiritual essence. So with this understanding, shadow work becomes incredibly important for us this week and moving into the rest of this year, just to end out this kind of ability to see ourselves in full, whole, complete understanding and presence. And so we just ended the 999 portal last week. So we were just in that phase of really releasing and letting go of the old energy that doesn't serve us outside of us. A lot of the energy of relationships or circumstances or past traumas or things like that, or interactions or ways in which we perceive things on the outside. We released a lot of that. We also did that on a global scale. We talked about that a little bit as well last week. And so now we're focusing on releasing elements of our under our stigma, the elements of the stigma surrounding the shadow, because we do still have some darkness here because we have to. Even though we release what doesn't serve us, there's still going to be elements of shadow within us that balance our light. And so now, with all of the things that we don't need gone from the 999 portal and all of that nostalgia, guilt, and shame kind of released, we can really focus on understanding our shadow and kind of exploring it and getting really in tune with what it says about us, what it tells us about ourselves, and how we can kind of pull it into a cooperation with what we really want from that balance of ourselves. So a lot of complexity here. The shadow work is always kind of complex because it is the shadow, it is heavy, and in fact that is the density of the energy is a complex density, which is often why right now we're feeling a lot of experiences that are challenging, that need extra focus, that kind of require this extra complex reworking of things, trying to figure things out in a very complex way, or trying to figure out very complex things. That's kind of what we've been feeling, and there's a lot of contrast with that. So to get into the spirit messages of this week, with that understanding, I really just want us to kind of focus on that throughout this reading, because it is a big part of who we are and what we need to focus on for the rest of this month, for this hopeful month of September. And that's why the hope card came up, is because we need that hope. We need that hope to help pull us out of the density of that shadow self and recognize that it's not so bad. Though it feels heavy and dense, it's actually important, it's actually enriching, we're learning things, we're really getting deep into the true essence of ourselves, the thickness of ourselves, that viscous understanding of ourselves. And so this is really important, and Bastet is also a big guide for that, and she spoke about it in the channel and chill last night, about this ability to not ignore the shadow, not to resist the shadow, but allow yourself to sensually, smoothly, like this black cat jaguar that she is, to sensually move through the shadows and to use the shadows to your benefit, to allow yourself to be kind of this camouflaged, stealthy energy amongst these challenges. And it really teaches you how to move amongst challenges, how to kind of navigate through by feeling the energy, feeling the thickness of the energy, and kind of moving through the areas that feel easier to move through, and letting yourself kind of be that stealthy black cat that she is. So she really spoke about that, and I think it was a great representation of how we can move through challenge that we may be going through right now. So with all of that being said, I know a lot of you commented, so I'll get to those in just a second, but let's go over just a couple of these spirit messages to get feeling into this energy. What I picked up in meditations with this shadow understanding is that not much is going as planned, and that this is a lesson of honoring our spontaneity and enjoying the thrill of it. Now, we're not used to things not going as planned, and in fact, I'm not used to it either, especially as an intuitive. The timelines that are coming up in readings are shifting so quickly that they can change at any given moment, but it's also really been fun because I've been able to be really one-on-one with all of my clients as the timeline shifts, so that we can kind of move with it and teach ourselves and each other how to kind of formulate this understanding of the timelines, given that everything is changing so quickly and that there's so much complexity and that nothing really is going as planned, and that this is part of that fun of being in that present moment and using your intuition at present moment, not getting stuck to any outcome, but feeling into the timelines that are possible, and then moving in every step, every direction as those timelines start to unfold, because they do kind of take a turn at different steps. And so there's this element of being on your toes and kind of not being able to expect anything. And so that can be fun, but if we're perceiving it as negative, or perceiving it as tiring or draining or exhausting or annoying or frustrating, then we're going to make more of that energy. So we want to really tap into the thrill of that, the excitement, the ability to kind of be on our toes, and to really have this sense of wonder and adventure. And remembering it is all a game is also something that Bastet brought to me this morning when I was meditating with her. Remembering that it is all a game, having no fear, because fear creates torment within you, and that torment within you will eventually be expressed externally, creating more of that chaos, and then it becomes this kind of consistent cycle of that. So releasing fear from feelings of unexpected energy, or releasing fear from any kind of change or things not going as planned is incredibly important, so that you can really enjoy the game aspect of this understanding, because it can be fun. Things don't have to be so serious. We make them serious. So allowing yourself to take a more playful approach and letting things kind of just happen as they may. For me, I've had some really funny, unexpected changes. Last week, I had a flat tire, and then I almost got all the tires I needed, because I needed actually like 3 new tires because the other ones were pretty bald. But I just didn't have it at the time, right? That happens, and like you have it and you don't really feel like you want to spend it right now. So last week I had a flat tire and I didn't spend it on the 3 tires, and they were doing like some sale, right? So I was like, I would love to do the sale, but like I just had a bunch of stuff happen. So I moved, and so I kind of need to save my nest egg for a second. This week I get another flat tire, so I had to get the other 2 tires anyway, but they didn't have the sale. So I was like, unexpected change. I should have done it last week, right? So all of this understanding and really allowing myself to just laugh at the moment, because don't get me wrong, there was a moment of like freak out, but then after that it was like, okay, let me just laugh at this, because it is kind of silly. It's just like, get the dang tires done. That's really what Spirit is saying. Like, don't wait, stop procrastinating, get the dang tires done, right? So just allowing yourself to flow with it as things happen, and just knowing it's not that serious. Like, we're just gonna get it done. It's okay. And so this can really be a way of laughing it off, and just kind of remembering that it's a game, and that your spirit might be toying with you a little bit. And some of those toying energies are teaching us a lesson, which isn't always fun, but we can make it fun because it is a game. So that can really be a great way of kind of moving through those things. Also, we will all start feeling a need to express our intuition more frequently this week, because the intuitive hits will be so strong for other people and for ourselves. So just pay attention to your intuition, and when you're getting those deep, fast, and strong intuitive hits, make sure that you're following them. Make sure that you're allowing yourself to trust it. I would have done that last week, right? But I didn't. So I'm telling you from experience, trust those things. And it's going to be happening more often this week, because our intuition is really what we rely on when we're in the shadow, when we can't see anything physically, when it's dark around us, when things are confusing or chaotic or just don't make sense all the way. What do we have to rely on? Well, we can't rely on our eyes because we can't see clearly. So what eye do we rely on? We rely on our mind's eye, our ability to see in the spirit world, to see energy, to see without physically seeing. And that is what we want to do with our intuition this week. Let that be our eyes, okay? So let yourself really trust that. No denial of truth will be possible this week, and as we continue moving out throughout this year, the rest of this year, there is a kind of undertone of this message that speaks to me globally, that is saying that a lot of systems and governments and social systems and societies, the truth will be revealed, and that denying the truth is not going to be possible as we continue progressing throughout the rest of this year. So any of those government leaders or government systems or social systems and structures that aren't being truthful or aren't being honest or genuine or integritous are going to be revealed, and their denial of that truth is going to be less and less possible. So feeling into that, and also understanding that this happens on a personal level too, that we're going to also see our true selves, and with that we're seeing our shadow this week. So that is a part of our true self. It's not possible to deny it. We must see it, we must accept it, we must understand it, and truly be aware that that is part of ourself, that we do have things that we're not proud of, that we do have things that we do that we could have done better, that we do have these kind of perspectives or things that tend to be more pessimistic at times or tend to stay there, get comfortable there, and that that is part of us, but that we can also be okay with the comfort of shadow, because sometimes we are in shadow. And when we're in a shadow environment, we've got to kind of be stealthy. We've got to kind of allow ourselves to move through it by not surrendering to the shadow, not allowing ourselves to get dark and deep as possible, but allowing ourselves to not fight it, to move through it, to camouflage through it, and to then get out of it as soon as possible through that ability to kind of stealthily navigate it. So hopefully this is making sense to all of you. Our hope is really crucial here, and this is kind of where I'll take a break for a second to touch in with you all, but our hope is really crucial here with all of this, and that's why this September card of hope for this month in 2019 is so accurate, because hope is our fuel. Hope is our light within that is keeping us moving through those shadows, that is keeping us kind of stealthily seeing where to move and where to go. So allow your hope to be a big part of your vessel of transmutation in those shadowy, darker energies. And also know that it's not all bad this week, okay? Because I don't want anybody to freak out or think that this is super disastrous. It's actually not. It's going to be a lot of wisdom, a lot of rebirth, a lot of completions, a lot of understandings, a lot of the coming together of that 999 portal with the balance of the Libra new moon. So we're going to get to that in a second. So I don't want you to get too caught up in any pessimism here, because it's important to understand this shadow aspect, but we're also going to have a lot of great things coming through with this too. So just give me time, and I'll get to those great things as well. I'm just going to read a couple of things that come up here. Phil Christophers is here. Hello, much love to all here. May this day just be getting better and better for you. Yes, thank you, thank you. Lots of conversation and support for Linda. I love that. Thank you so much for sending love to her through that. And Bill says, I love Bastet. She rocks. She is one of the goddesses I use for the South Quarter. Very cool. Love that. And Third Eye Thirst is here. Hi, love. Hello. I hope your surgery went well and everything is going great with you. Sending love to you for your rapid recovery. It looks like you're doing well, though, connecting here. And Charisma Angel is here. Hello. And let's see, I'm just seeing if there's anybody talking about any of this shadow stuff. Not so much. Let Go of My Ego is here. We love you, Rissa. Thanks for the channel and chill last night. Relisha and I are addicted. Oh, I love you all so much. It's so good to see you. And Carla's here as well. Rissa sending love and light to everyone. Thank you. Let Go of My Ego says my shadow self has been coming to the light. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's continue on with these messages. It's so important. So as we move into this understanding of shadow, and as we continue to do the work, recognize that we are in harvest season, that we just had that harvest full moon, and that now we're moving into the new moon in Libra. So we do have a lot of the abundance and prosperity and creativity coming forth as well for us to experience also. So even though things aren't going as planned, they still are going to be abundant. They still are going to be creative. They still are going to be hopeful and healthy and great for us. So we are going to have some calls to action this week, but we want to wait for the calls to action from our intuition, those urges to do something immediately or to do something right then and there, those right place, right time kind of impulses to act. These are the calls of action that we want to follow, and to not force anything outside of that too much, because these calls of action are really helping us be stealthy through all of these changes. And your higher self, your spirit guides are kind of shining a flashlight down into where you're at and kind of lighting your path, but you've got to kind of wait for them to put the light where you need to go before you move. You don't want to move into the unknown or move into darkness without having that light to shine onto it, telling you that's the actual path to go down. So those are the calls of action, those kind of flashlights onto our path, letting us know, yes, this is where to go, this is where to turn. So let yourself really pay attention to that. And let that energy choose the direction before you move. That's really important as well, to be kind of stealthy and strategic through this time. Uranus and Taurus, just to add into this, because it's not technically an astrological energy update for right now, because it's already aired, but we're still experiencing it. So from a spirit message perspective, Uranus and Taurus is still happening right now, and it's getting intense again. It's been kind of an influence for us since August 12th of this year, and it's going to continue influencing us until January 2020. So that Uranus in that's the Uranus in retrograde, and then the Uranus is also in Taurus until 2026. So with that being said, the Uranus in retrograde is until January 2020, which is allowing us to kind of connect to this shift in every aspect of our core: the finances, our perceptions of beauty, our structures, our understandings of organization, and our understandings of self-power and individuality. All of those things are being affected by that Uranus retrograde. And since Uranus is in Taurus during this retrograde and for the next several years, all of that sense of grounded into that understanding and into these new shifts and into these unexpected changes in regards to finances, beauty, structures, independence, and individuality are all kind of affecting us at once. So lots of unexpected changes and shifts in the way we perceive all of those things in our life, which is also why there's a little bit of that chaos happening for a lot of us, feeling kind of lost or confused or not sure where to go or what to do, and also feeling kind of a loss of purpose because of that. That's just a byproduct of that feeling of all of these things shifting. When things change all around you, you can't really put the pieces together enough to see the big picture yet. So that's going to be something that we just have to deal with, just kind of being in this very present moment and seeing things right in front of us as we progress, until we start to get that bigger picture perspective again later on, probably at the end of this year, which is why I keep saying that this kind of completions and the ending of this year began this month and is going to continue, that we're going to really kind of be feeling this just for the end of the year. And that's why it's so important for us to give ourselves the self-care, the retreat, the rest, the break from some of our daily experiences if we can, and just kind of center into this work of a shadow and center into this work of our intuition development. So if you don't know, the Belize retreat in October that I'm hosting, October 26th to November 1st in Central America, Belize, is all about that. It's all about allowing ourselves to have that time and space to dive deep into ourselves and into our intuition development and into our connection with our source, with our cosmic light, and with our ability to feel our energy and navigate it in the environment that we're in. And in that environment, we'll be in a beautiful tropical jungle paradise, which is a great time and way to kind of separate from the daily stuff and move into some deep inner work that is important for the end of this year. So if you're interested in that retreat, please message me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, email me there, or message me on Instagram @readingsbyrissa. I've also posted the link and the flyer for it in the community section of this page, so you can check out all of the itinerary and things like that to sign up. Okay, so a couple more of these spirit messages, and this is a deep reading, you guys, so I hope you're comfy because we still have the full moon, or the new moon in Libra to go over, and the astrological events. But this is so important. This energy of this week is so crucial, so I'm glad that you're sticking around for all of this juicy goodness, because it's super, super helpful for this week. So the next spirit message is that manifestation is changing personally and globally for everyone. This is a big message. We are more powerful than ever with our hope. With our hope. That is the key. That is the key to powerful manifestation. If we are lacking hope, our manifestation is going to dwindle and dim. So pull hope from within and from source and pull it into your body, pull it into your heart, and let that be a fuel, the key for your manifestation to be more powerful than ever. Allowing yourselves to see things clearly, your vision, allowing yourselves to feel hopeful through this movement, through things that are somewhat uncomfortable and unexpected, in order to fully be greeted by this bliss of the intuitive manifestation of your desire. Trust your intuition in that. And the last spirit guide message that I pulled forth for this session, for this week, is that separation within ourselves is causing some chaos. We talked about that separation between our shadow and light, and that it is crucial for our self-love to be the kind of bind for that separation. What we're saying here is that our light, our spirit, has been doing so much work at evolving and developing and expanding, and we're so proud of ourselves for that. But then we also have not been paying attention to our shadow. We haven't been giving much attention to that because we've been so focused on the light, that now to end this year out, to complete it, to make it whole, like Carl Jung talked about, I must have a dark side also if I am to be whole. To really fully come into that wholeness and consciousness, we now have to put some attention onto our shadow, and that seems to pull us in different directions. That seems to show us the different dualistic parts of ourselves. That seems to make us feel separate from within, really kind of pulled apart. And also that kind of reflects into separation in environment where we're feeling and seeing duality in our environment. So with that, like we talked about with the shadow at the beginning of this reading, we just want to really find ways to accept, love, and send light to our shadow, and also compassionately hold it into a conformity, into a taming, just taming that shadow to allow it to balance out with our light. We don't want to surrender to the shadow, but we also don't want to only surrender to the light. We want to make sure that we're not ignoring the many aspects of ourselves, because this world is full of light and full of many spectrums of light, and that's what makes up this world and universe. We have to also accept and see the many spectrums of light within ourselves that makes us whole and complete. So self-care is crucial. Nature connection is crucial. Global shifts are most likely to start happening this week as a result of all of this mass consciousness energy of separation and understanding shadow and coming into this sense of no denial of truth and all of these things. So be on the lookout for big global shifts. I know we had the climate strike last week that was very much a part of us being aware and standing up for the universe and the health of the planet. And many other things I believe are going to happen. I also talked about the xenophobia in South Africa that's happening, the xenophobia attacks. These are very serious attacks that are happening amongst cultures and people of different countries. And this also happens in our states with the Mexico border and things that they've been talking about with that politically. And so xenophobia is absolutely a direct kind of example of that shadow aspect of our world and of our mass consciousness. And it's starting to really bring about a change. We're starting to really have to pay attention to it, and why all of these things have been happening to get our attention to it. So we see this in the world as well, not just in ourselves with all of this shadow aspect. So really important to kind of note that and understand it and study it a little bit, because it's quite interesting, right? It's quite interesting to be able to understand these many expressions of source that show itself in different levels, and kind of understand how to tame the extremes so that we don't have such destruction. Okay, so real quick, just before we go into astrology, I want to talk about the fall equinox. We started the fall equinox portal on the 21st, which was Friday, and now Monday, tomorrow, we will be having the official 2019 fall equinox. So we will be entering the fall season officially tomorrow, which is fantastic. It is the change of the season, which is also why we've been feeling so many changes in our environment and within ourselves. All of the changes, the 999 portal, the fall equinox, all the shadow self stuff, the new moon, all of these things, right? We're just feeling a ton of change. Uranus in retrograde. So all of these things are the change of the season, the shift of the tide, the shift of our phase in this year into the harvest season and into the beginning of the end of the year, into that rebirthing stage as well, where we're kind of, part of us is dying, part of us is dying off, the old aspect of self, the extra shadow aspect of self, the extra ego aspect of self. Those parts of us are just dying off. The things that don't serve us are dying off. And then in that dying off and that completion of ourselves by releasing what is not necessary, we then come into this rebirth energy. We then come into this feeling whole. We then come into this ability to feel the wisdom of that shift and that process and the accomplishments of our ability ability to endure and overcome those phases and continue with our perseverance and movement forward. So the fall equinox is going to be great for us tomorrow. We're going to feel some of that tension of shifts of change release a little bit as well. And then let's get into the astrology real quick. I'm going to go through the astrology influences pretty quickly and then tap into the new moon in Libra. And I feel like we just had the full moon, so I'm like kind of tripping out that we're already at the new moon. It kind of went by fast, right? But anyway, so we'll go into that real quick. So real quick, 9/25 is our first astrological event that is significant for us this week. That is on Wednesday. We're going to have a lot of mental activation on Wednesday. Now, this is important because we're going to need some time to ourselves, feel a lot of rapid fire in our, we're going to kind of not be able to shut off. If some of you have been feeling restless or just really kind of in your head or just activated mentally, that you've already probably started to feel the influence of this. And so we want to really center ourselves so we can balance that energy with our intuition, breathing into our heart, letting our heart also tell us some things about what we need to do. That way we can really get into this awareness of who we are and how we're moving through these balances of our mind and heart. So super important. On that day, Venus squares Saturn, which gives us a lot of forward momentum as well. So expect that on Wednesday, with those active mental activations and active mental energy, that we're also going to feel this need to move, this kind of sense of urgency, and we might want to do a bunch of things at once, or we might feel like we have so many things we want to do but not really sure how to do them or which one to start with. You might already be feeling this as well, because it is a powerful energy that is coming forth with that Saturn energy just gone direct recently. We're feeling kind of more of that Saturn's influence and kind of re-getting acquainted with Saturn being direct. So we're going to also feel some lessons in romance on Wednesday. In romantic relationships, since Venus squares Saturn, we're going to feel a little bit of that tough love understanding. So it's going to give us wisdom and awareness. So make sure not to get too personal or sensitive by any discrepancies or issues that might happen in your romantic life on that day. Take it as a lesson, take it as a tough love lesson, something that you needed to see for your own expansion. We're also going to feel a lot of productivity, getting things done that day as well. So try to center yourself, like I said, because if you don't center yourself on that day, you're going to feel really kind of all over the place and not able to do anything, because you're going to have so many inspirations to do a ton of things. So clear resistances as well on this day to move forward on Wednesday, the 25th. Clearing resistances to move forward, because you're going to feel that kind of strength and that potent energy of forward momentum. You may also feel some resistances in moving forward. So address those, because that's important to know that if you have resistances in moving forward, what's making you feel resistant to move forward movement? What's making you hesitant to taking that next step? Why and what is that rooted in? Because when you figure that out, you can release the blockage and utilize that energy as needed to bring more change into your life positively that you've deliberately created per your manifestations. So that's going to be a really good energy to tap into with the right energy, okay? Carlos says, wow, Rissa, I've been feeling restless energy for the last few days. Yes, Carla, thank you. So many people have been feeling that restlessness, absolutely. And we're definitely also very activated by the 999 portal that just ended, the fall equinox, this new moon coming up. So all of that energy as well, if you're astrologically sensitive, is also going to make you feel pretty restless too. So good that you're feeling that, and good that now you know what it's about and what you can do to kind of center yourself. So meditate, center yourself into your heart chakra, ground into the earth a bit, and feel into that as well. I did a grounding practice on my Instagram at readingsbyrissa last week, so you can check that out. Also, I believe I did it on Monday. Yeah. Okay, so Thursday, the next day, September 26th, Mercury squares Pluto. Mercury is in charge of the mind also, and communication, and interactions and relationships. And then Pluto is all about passion, rebirth, power. And so we're going to feel this kind of combination of our mental power, our communication, our powerful communication, our passionate communication, and our passionate mind. And all of that is going to kind of be rebirthing within us. We're going to kind of be shifting and transitioning into a new version and level of ourselves there. So watch out for overactive throat chakras that need to overly communicate a point or to passionately communicate a point to the point of over exaggeration and intensity, where the other person might be like, whoa, like chill it out. So give yourself a little bit of time to center yourself before you express a ton to somebody or overwhelm someone with your conversation or passion. And let go of disagreements that don't matter on this day, because everybody's going to be so activated and speaking so much and mind-centered. Disagreements may happen, passionate disagreements may happen, but if you really focus on the root of them, they're probably not that big of a deal, and they're mainly just there from the energy of this day. So be sure to just let go of disagreements that don't really matter on that day, because it's most likely an influence from the stars, and that's on Thursday the 26th. Okay, and then the final astrological event of the week is super incredibly important. September 28th, Saturday, the Libra new moon. Happy birthday to all the Libras. Happy birthday to Leslie. I know you're a Libra. Happy birthday to any other Libras joining. Happy birthday to my partner, my beautiful boyfriend, Joseph. I am so happy to celebrate Libra birthdays because I am very connected to my partner, Libra, and so I know so much about Libras, and I'm a Gemini, so I love Libras because they balance us crazy Geminis out, and our Pisces energies too, because Pisces are very much a dualistic energy as well. So thank you, Libras, for your balance, and happy birthday to all of you. I want to talk about the Libra new moon real quick, because that will be our final kind of energy to go over for today. And it is on Saturday, the 28th of September, and we're going to have a beautiful day that day. We've got the 10 with the 2 plus 8, the 28 going to 10. We've got the 9 and 19, so we've got a lot of that completion energy, a lot of feeling whole, a lot of feeling balanced in that wholeness and completion, and we're going to have a lot of inspiration with that balance as well that comes forth. Very much a creative moon that we're going to have with this Libra new moon, allowing us to feel our creative energy heightened, allowing us also to explore unknown things with curiosity and excitement, and having interesting experiences because of it, which is going to be really fun for us. It's going to liberate us in the sense of feeling really blissfully flowing in that spontaneity that we talked about at the beginning of this reading, really honoring our spontaneity and really flowing with it and finding this beautiful kind of cooperation with the unexpected changes of our world and starting to enjoy the thrill of it. So that's going to feel very liberating from us. It's going to feel like we're kind of being pulled out from under the thumb of those unexpected changes or things that don't feel like they're working for us. And we're going to kind of start to notice that we can make them work for us by allowing ourselves to play with them and feel inspired in a balance and a balanced reaction to that energy. So Venus sextiles Jupiter on Saturday with this Libra new moon, which is going to give us big love, big abundance, big prosperity, lots of romance, lots of excitement, lots of bliss, lots of sensuality, like Bastet brought forth for us as well. So lots of great energy with this Libra new moon and the Venus sextile Jupiter. Jupiter is all about abundance and bigness and luck and home and family. Venus is all about love and home and connection to our sensual selves, our romantic selves, our intimate selves. So lots of that big energy and abundance, which is going to be fantastic as well. Linda says, what is the stone on your neck? Is this one? This is a clear quartz. Clear quartz. Boop. It's a double point clear quartz. I love it. It keeps me very, very clear and connected. This one is a lava stone inside a tree of life little cage. Lava stone really helps to, actually I'm glad you asked, Linda. This is a great question because now I'm kind of getting a message on this here. So the lava stone is a dark stone and it absorbs energy that doesn't serve and kind of clears things that don't serve, so it really helps with the shadow self aspect. And then this clear course is helping to balance it with the light. So shadow and light here on my neck, which is really significant. I didn't even realize it. I'm also wearing a cat suit, which I think is funny. It's a black cat suit, which is like Bastet. So I feel like she's just with me now since I channeled her last night, which was the first time I ever channeled her. So, and shout out to Penelope, because I had a session with Penelope who also works with Bastet, and I was able to connect with Bastet in that reading for the first time. And I think that's why she's kind of connected with me and hung close to me all weekend and was able to come through as a channel. So thanks, Penelope, for that introduction to Bastet's energy. But yeah, cat suit and all of the signs that we're all connected here in this reading. And then so the rest of the Libra moon is really just about us feeling that balance of our shadow and our light, and really feeling into that inspiration from that balance. So we're going to have a lot of good energy with that. We're going to feel a lot of relief. We're going to feel connected and much more liberated and blissful and balanced in that as well. I'm going to do some quick channels for each of the signs real quick, just to give you guys a little bit of Zodiac energy update on this new moon, since we have a little bit of extra time. Before I do that, just want to check on how you all are doing. Rachel Ann said, yes, yay, I was born on a Libra sun and new moon last year. New moon was on my birthday. This year it's on my mom's. Beautiful. Happy birthday, Rachel Ann. That is beautiful. So happy to know another Libra here on this reading. And Josie, sending you love and light as well, knowing that you want to be on the right path. It's been on your mind and living right for quite some time. So I know that that is absolutely a manifestation that will come through. I'm just giving you all your love, all my love to you. And thank you. Verinia says, the lava stone with the tree of life is beautiful. Thank you so much. And Phil Christopher says, fall equinox is also the balance of light and dark. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, all of the things, right? All of these astrological and kind of seasonal events happening to show us that balance between light and dark, and that rebirth, like we talked about, that fall equinox, the change of the season from one to the next, and really finding that wisdom and completion. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and channel some messages real quick for this last few minutes of this reading. I'm going to go ahead and start with the air signs, since we have that new moon in Libra. Happy birthday to all the Libras. We'll start with the air signs, okay? And who knows, maybe Bastet will come through, because she's been with me this whole time. So you might get a little greeting from her. We'll see. Let's take some deep breaths all together. I'm also going to, of course, pull some cards. So let's take some breaths and do the channeled messages, and then I'll pull some cards, and then we'll get out of here. So I'm going to lead us through some deep breaths here, getting nice and comfortable and relaxed. When you're ready, as a collective, all of us here live and all that are joining us on the replay, let's take a nice deep breath in. Big breath out. Another deep breath in. Big breath out, relaxing into our awareness of balance, our awareness of light and dark within us. With another deep breath in. And big breath out to relax. Air signs. Geminis, Libras, Aquarius. Yes, Bastet is here to discuss this connection to the stars, the new moon for the air signs. Geminis, Libras, Aquariuses, you are rising above the levels of shadow to see the bigger picture. You are a vision, you are a visionary for these energies. Those around you, those surrounding you will come to you for advice, for understandings of exactly what they are going through and why. you will be able to see clearly their process of moving forward and their ability to navigate the energy. So, air signs, you will be the visionaries of this week and of this new moon, allowing you to be the ones with the wisdom, the ability to see before others have seen. So, enjoy this and use it to assist others and yourself through this time. Earth signs, Taurus, Capricorns, and Virgos are next. All right, Earth signs, you will be connecting to your strength of independence, your strength of individuality, your ability to connect to the materialistic elements of this change that you are undergoing. The shift in densities through this shadow period of work that you are experiencing all together will be divinely assisted through the earth signs' abilities to sink into their unique perceptions of the ways things are changing. These perceptions, these mind-oriented awarenesses are going to be a useful tool in assisting the transformations and the ways in which the universal law is expressed in this world. So, earth signs, you will be a bit of a structured, organized, and mind-centered tool and voice for this change. Many will come to you to understand how and what to do next as far as creating more change for the better. Okay, the fire signs are next. These are the Leos, the Sagittarius, and the Aries. Fire signs. You are creating new birth. You are the Spitfires of this week for a reason. You often are this, for your fire signs allow you to be, but this specific week you will be giving very direct and somewhat assertive, even abrasive at times, messages to those who need a quick jolt of reality, who need a direct understanding of how to transmute their energy into something more useful to them. They will be reluctant at first, so don't take it personally, but allow yourselves to be this voice, for your fire sign is allowing this clear communication, direct, spiritual, energetic jolt of transmutation into their consciousness for the betterment of their life. These direct messages, these assertive awarenesses that you will present will be important for them to hear, see, and observe. So do not resist the voice that you have in this way. And finally, the water signs, Cancers, Pisces, Scorpios. I'm letting Bastet finish out this channel. Water signs, you are cool and calm in your ability to flow through these changes, but there are also depths of emotion that somewhat drown you or make you feel less powerful than you are. Ignore that suppression from the weight of the emotions you feel and allow yourselves to rise through them with this intuitive acceptance of the symbolism behind the emotion you feel, the symbolism surrounding the circumstance of the emotions you feel, and allow that to be the language that speaks to you, showing you how to take things lighter, how to release the weight of the emotions, and how to utilize them as a gift. You will flow much more easily through that awareness. Okay, so bringing ourselves back into this reality. Basset is very sensual and slow and different than I am. So I'm integrating back into myself for a second. Hello. Hopefully that gave you some understandings of the energy. I feel like my eyes are bigger. That was weird. Physical transformations I feel I'm seeing in myself coming out of that deep channel. Hello. So anyway, hopefully that gave you some good understanding of how your zodiacs are being expressed this week through this new moon, and also through the energy of this week. And I still feel Basset is still here with me, so sorry if I sound funny or I'm being weird, but that's just how I am sometimes when I come out of channel. But yeah, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards real quick to give us a full spectrum understanding of everything. Let's start with the beginning of the week card for this week. Ooh, they're dueling. There we go. Middle of the week card, I'm being called to pull a spirit messages, excuse me. And let me know how those messages resonated with you all, if you felt Basset's energy assisting you. I have hiccups all of a sudden, I don't know why. And that gives you a little bit of a sneak peek into her energy for the highlights that I'll be posting from the channel until last night. End of the week card being pulled here from the goddess Isis deck, really having some of that Egyptian energy from Bastet is available here with us as well. Just getting guidance for the end of the week, which is also kind of that new moon energy. It's choosing, it's choosing, it's choosing. There it is. Also going to pull one more goddess Isis for the new moon in Libra. Nope, they don't want that. They want it from the Angels of Atlantis. Another cosmic card instead for the Libra new moon. There it is. Okay, let's go over these. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Beginning of the week card, intention. Intentions, allowing ourselves to recognize our intentions for the changes that we are experiencing. What are your intentions? We may not be able to truly manifest exactly what we want as planned, but we can set specific intentions that will allow us to start to funnel the energy into an area we want to see it go. So using your intentions to really assist in helping focus your energy and allowing yourself to reconnect with your intentions if they have changed with all the changes that have happened. So setting new intentions, connecting with your intentions, and using your intuition to navigate through the movement of following your intentions into fruition. That is the beginning of the week card for this week. And this is a lot of crown chakra energy too, with the purple border. So a lot of that mind center that we were talking about with the astrological energy too. So our mind is going to be working towards setting our intentions. That's kind of where we can put that excessive mind energy towards. Middle of the week card, Serenity. Serenity is a great card to feel into for all of the things that we know are shifting and moving around us, and all of the shadow that we're going to be working through this week, letting us feel into the peace of that, into understanding how to move into a place of inner peace and balance given that change and shift and transitions. The Serenity card itself also says the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. So this is also kind of a guide for the shadow aspects of our energy, kind of giving us an understanding that serenity is possible and will be possible by allowing ourselves to completely have that deeper relationship with ourselves in our fullness, in our completion, in our wholeness, in all of the spectrums of light that we are, acknowledging our shadow and finding peace with it because it is a spectrum of light within us, and because our relationship that we have with ourselves is the most important relationship that we can ever have. So let that be one that you honor all parts of your light and all parts of your shadow, so that you can truly dive into that bliss of that importance of that relationship. And then the end of the week card is a goddess Isis card, allowing us to connect to that Egyptian goddess energy and connection to Bastet. And the card itself says, stay true and be in your power. I'm going to read it to you because you won't be able to read it from the screen. So you can look at the pretty picture while I read it. It says, stay true and be in your power for this end of this week. You are a sovereign, divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is, and remember that you are a divine being, free to be you. Allow yourself to be free to be you. Stay true and be in your power. Beautiful. And then finally, the new moon in Libra card calls us to Archangel Michael with I am presence, staying in the present moment, enjoying that thrill of change and movement and balance and change by being present in that moment, allowing yourselves to intuitively move with the energy as it navigates you during this new moon in Libra. So feel into that presence, feel into that sensation of yourself, the I am self, the individual self, the full, complete, whole self that you are, and enjoy it through that connection to your crown chakra. Again, we're ending here with another crown chakra card with all of that purple, that mind-oriented energy, ability to really mentally accept ourselves for who we are and feel into that I am presence for the new moon in Libra. I'm going to end with just a couple of announcements. Remember that I am doing another event today at Abundance Space at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you are in Scottsdale, Arizona, or in the Arizona area, and you are interested in tapping into some awarenesses about consciously creating your reality, allowing yourselves to deepen your power in manifestation, and also it's an empowerment circle. So we're going to be talking about any struggles that we have with manifestation and how we can empower ourselves through that and each other through that. So that's going to be at 5 p.m. today. And then tomorrow for the fall equinox, I am still doing a little circle online where we can connect all together on a Zoom call, a beautiful video conference, and talk about the changes in our life in this fall equinox and how we've been experiencing change and what that means for us, and also empowering ourselves and supporting each other in that circle as well. So if you're interested in joining the online fall equinox connection that I'm going to be hosting, then definitely email me readingsbyrissa@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at readingsbyrissa, and follow me on Instagram anyway, because I post daily videos to deepen this understanding of the energy of the week that we go over on these Sunday readings. And so at readingsbyrissa, you can connect with me there. And if you want a personal reading, reach out, because I'm here for you. Energy cleansings, past life readings, mediumship, cosmic connection readings, general readings, whatever you need, I'm here. And please don't forget that beautiful retreat in Belize that I am hosting October 26th to November 1st. Tickets are still on sale. There are still some spots available. Please get in your tickets early, because they are starting to go, and it's important for you to Get them while you can. So if you're interested and if you know you are going to be absolutely buying a ticket, email me readingsbyrissa@gmail.com so you can save your spot. And I cannot wait to connect with you there. We're going to tap into so much amazing energy, intuitive development, cosmic energy in ancient Mayan lands, in the beautiful tropical jungle treehouse resort. It's going to be fantastic. So for more information on that, email me readingsbyrissa@gmail.com and at readingsbyrissa on Instagram and on the community page. I'm also going to be posting that Kuan Yin and Archangel Michael channel from last month very soon, so I'll post that today or tomorrow. And then you also have the Bastet channel highlights that will be posted in the next couple of weeks as well, so I'm excited for you all to hear those. If you have any questions for me or need any additional support one-on-one, please reach out. I love you all. I will see you again next Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time for another weekly reading. Happy new moon, happy birthday to all the Libras, and make sure to share this reading if you resonate with it with 3 to 4 people that you know that need this energy and need this awareness, or just looking for a deepening of their connection to their spirit, to astrology, or whatever it may be. Let's shine the light, let's spread the love, let's continue building this web of light community. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And thank you so much for joining. I'm going to give my little goodbyes to all of you as I connect with you on these last messages you wrote down. Christopher says, my intention is to ascend along with the earth, if not a bit sooner. I love that. And Linda says, Archangel Haniel is a great resource to call upon for purple too. A favorite. Oh, I love that. Thank you. And yes, let's see, what else? Stefan says, hey, or I say hey to Stefan. Stefan says, sessions with Vissa are amazing. Thank you, Stefan. Good to see you. Verinia says, Josie, sending you love and light for your job interview. Yes, Josie, sending you so much love and light for your job interview. I know it's going to go well. Everything is going to go right, and just trust in it. Have faith, have hope, and let that complete your movement into this year. That intuition, that hope, that positivity. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and week. See you soon. Peace.